Good day again. Welcome to Kingdom Daily. Still in our series focused on the Kingdom of God economy, but on the subtopic experiencing and enjoying kingdom resources. We stress importantly in the past sharings of ours that experiencing and enjoying kingdom resources is God's royal design for the citizens of the Kingdom of God. The big question, however, is how can this kind of life be experienced in the here and in the now? So we answered that by saying that it's in basic materials, you have to get into the kingdom. If these blessings are in the kingdom, you have to get into the kingdom. And we have discussed a lot of things related to that. After that, we also talk about having our right positioning. Because if the blessings pass through a particular space and time, if you are not in the right position, you will not be experiencing it. And we stress a lot of materials related to right positioning, one of which is change mentality. And we talk about changing mentality, particularly in two items already. And that is discarding poverty mentality because you are richer than you think you are. And then discarding ownership mentality and maximizing your kingdom access. Now, you have to discard slave mentality. We call that serve and rule with your gifts. As defined by a dictionary, servitude is a condition of a slave, the state of involuntary subjection to a master, slavery, bondage, a state of lavish dependence. Some persons may be in love with splendid servitude. In our contemporary society, servitude and or slavery is abhorred. Thus, overwhelming majority of humans are free. Hardly can we hear anyone pushed into involuntary subjection to another. Sadly, however, many of those who claim themselves to be free are still sporting a slave mentality. There is a sense of being inferior to others, especially on the basis of skin color and position or possession difference. Filipinos are well known for this, understandably because of more than 300 years of servitude under Spanish rule and being treated as second-class citizen with imposed identity of Indios. The Spanish rule or any other foreign rule for that matter are long gone, but the attitude still remains among many of our countrymen. This thought pattern or this position is directly related to poverty. In this respect, we can't help but bring our memories back to the story of Prodigal Son in Luke 15:13-32. The slave mentality in the younger son resulted from his separation from his father, having taken a downward journey, while that of the older son was due to his defective knowledge of his status. This could be observed in their respective conversations with their father. If you could still remember, it could be noticed that the attitude observable and the way the younger son conversed with his father, as well as the content of said conversation prior to his moving away from home, was totally different from that which he had when he returned home. Take a look at this in Luke 15:2. He said, "Father, give me my share of the estate." And then that was changed in 18 to 19 of Luke 15. Here is what he said when he get back. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired men." You know, implied in the younger son's first statement is a clear knowledge of his status. He knows who he is, that is a son of a wealthy man, and as such is not only entitled to abundant daily sustenance, but also to share of his father's estate. Thus, he made a claim. When he returned home, his status in his father's eyes did not change, but his mentality has changed. The swine industry in his place of deterioration has succeeded in brainwashing him to think of himself as nothing more than a slave. By now, what is already ingrained in his person is a slave mentality. His father did not accommodate this deteriorated attitude, but instead hastened to start the process of royal reincorporation. As if he heard nothing from his son's penitential rhetoric, the father brought back to his son his external royalty, ordering a servant to be quick, bring the best robe, etc., etc. Luke chapter 15. The elimination of slave mentality and the restoration of royal mentality in this younger son may take time, but the father managed to kick off a great start. While the younger son's slave mentality was implied in his plea to his father to make him one of his hired servants, the older son explicitly declared, saying, "All these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. On the basis of objective assessment, it could be said that the older son's case is worse in comparison with the younger son. The latter's deteriorated mentality was due to scarcity experienced away from home, while the older son, amidst the wealth and abundance of his father, he was still sporting this kind of slave mentality. He did not realize that he is indeed the son of the wealthy and good and generous father. He tried to earn his father's favor. So defective a mentality. Kingdom citizens must start discarding slave mentality. Being children of God the King, they have access to the resources of His kingdom. They have to learn to serve Him with gladness of heart and love and gratitude for who He is and what He has done. Instead of servitude, kingdom citizens must serve and rule by their gifts. Service and rulership is God's original design for man. And this is His original design for you. So better change the way you think related to this and start experiencing the goodness of the kingdom, because you are no less than a child of the King. God bless.